Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 207 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. All right, my friends, let's get to it. So we're going to get into our meditation routine. I will see you guys on the other side. Excuse me. Dream. All right, welcome back, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Brother Marcus, good morning. Auntie, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Ma. How's it going? Good morning, good morning. All right, okay. So we're getting ready we just finished our meditation routine, and now we're getting into our reading routine. Currently reading A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and it's been absolutely, positively amazing. I will see you guys on the other side. Pardon me. Whoa. Fair. Jeez, this is. All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, so we just finished our reading routine, and now we're getting into our journaling routine. So in the journaling routine, I usually like to start off by writing about what I'm most grateful for. In the morning, that is waking up. So grateful for waking up today and living another day, breathing another day, and being in perfect health are the two things I'm most grateful for in the morning. So I write that down in my journal. And then when it comes to yesterday's experiences and activities, I write my gratitude and appreciation, just showing my respect to the universe for allowing me to experience and to dissect and to analyze, the activities of a day are things I'm totally grateful for. And then moving forward, anything I wish to project for myself or manifest, go ahead and write that down also. So a number of reasons to journal. A good reason is to just clear your mind and get everything down on paper. So I'll see you guys on the other side. All right. And so it is. Good morning, Carl. How's it going, bud? Okay. So Eckhart is taking us to a totally different level altogether with our readings and understanding of ego and how it works. The ego tends to equate having with being. I have, therefore I am. The more I have, the more I am. The ego lives through comparison. How you are seen by others turns into how you see yourself. Huge. If everyone lived in a mansion or everyone was wealthy, your mansion or your wealth would no longer serve to enhance your sense of self. How you are seen by others becomes the mirror that tells you what you are like and who you are. The ego's sense of self-worth is in most cases bound up with the worth you have in the eyes of others. You need others to give you a sense of self. And if you live in a culture that to a large extent equates self-worth with how much and what you have, if you cannot look through this collective delusion, you will be condemned to chasing after things for the rest of your life in the vain to hope to find your worth and completion of your sense of self there. So it's true. Sometimes we search for our self-worth in others' opinion of us. That could be good and it can be very, very bad because we're limited to the realities and the limited mindsets of others, right? In some cases. So those are the times it could be bad. In other cases, we are enhanced and we're supported and lifted up by others' limitless, right, reality and mindset that they have, which is absolutely amazing. But to understand that this physical life is a delusion, a huge delusion, and that the numbers that you're seeing on your bank account, are just numbers on a screen, essentially, and they really have no worth other than to buy things, and that the true worth is the worth of your soul, of your spirit, of the work that you put into yourself, and the way that you treat people, and the way that you treat yourself, love, peace, and so we find our self-worth. And that's why a lot of the times you hear stories about people who have everything but aren't very happy. It's because they're finding their self-worth in the things that they're purchasing. But when I go buy that brand new Ferrari 458, it's awesome and it's amazing. But the only reason why I feel so good is because everybody else thinks it's cool. Right? I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. That's the reason why I would go buy it. When you live your life, in my opinion, to impress or to appease other people, you're falling short of what it means to be you. And that's the one thing I never want to lose in this lifetime. So the next question you're probably asking yourself is, so how do I let go of attachment? How do I let go of that urge to always want more and more and more and more? Don't try. It's impossible. Attachment to things drops away by itself when you no longer seek to find excuse me. Don't try. It's impossible. Attachment to things drops away by itself when you no longer seek to find yourself in them. In the meantime, just be aware of your attachment to things. Sometimes you may not know that you are attached to something, which is to say identified, until you lose it or there is a threat of loss. If you then become upset, anxious, and so on, it means you are attached. If you are aware that you are identified with the thing, the identification is no longer total. I am the awareness that is aware that there is attachment. That's the beginning of the transformation of consciousness. So one way to transcend through the ranks of losing attachment to physical things and starting to operate from a spiritual dimension is first by realizing that you are attached. The way that you realize you are attached is you ask yourself the fundamental question: if somebody was to take this from me, how would I feel? Right? And then you just detach yourself from it. If your reality would be that you'd be upset, you'd be pissed, you'd be angry, whatever it is, you turn that whole ideology around and you create a different reality for how you would react to it. The next part of the book goes into wanting, the need for more. The ego identifies with having, but its satisfaction in having is relatively shallow and short-lived one. Concealed within it remains a deep-seated sense of dissatisfaction, of incompleteness, of not enough. I don't have enough yet, by which the ego really means I am not enough yet. As we have seen, having, the concept of ownership, is a fiction created by the ego to give itself solidity and permanency and make itself stand out, make itself special. Since you cannot find yourself through having, however, there is another more powerful drive underneath it that pertains to the structure of the ego, the need for more, which we all could also call wanting. No ego can last for long without the need for more. Therefore, wanting keeps the ego alive much more than having. The ego wants more than it wants to have. And so the shallow satisfaction of having is always replaced by more wanting. So it's just a continuous, hamster in the cage type of, or hamster on the wheel. You're always wanting, you're always wanting, you're always wanting. Sometimes you never take time to notice the flower, right? The flower that's in the ground, that's in the dirt. Roses are red. Stop to pay attention to say that to yourself. Roses are red, right? Roses are red. You see the roses. So it's the simple things also that help you check the ego so that it doesn't get too out of hand. Now, there's nothing wrong with having sensational hunger and drive to be, hustling to get to exactly where you need to be, working hard at what you need to do to get there. At the same time, to lose yourself in that race and to lose yourself in material things is something that we should always have a check. It's something that I have a checks and balances for. The sufferers of bulimia will often make themselves vomit so they can continue eating. Their mind is hungry, not their body. This eating disorder would become healed if the sufferers, instead of being identified with their mind, could get in touch with their body and so feel the true needs of the body rather than the pseudo needs of the egoic mind. So what he's suggesting in that one statement is that if somebody has bulimia, they're listening to their thoughts. They're not listening to their body. And so that's the reason why they have that symptom, or that's one of the reasons why they have that symptom. But if they were to tap into their body, and the way that you do tap into your body is you stop and you find time to dig deep. You meditate. You meditate on how you feel. You meditate on what how perfect your health is, etc., etc., a number of other things. If you stop to recognize what exactly is going on in your body, then you're more than likely to have a little bit more control. Now, some of the most extreme instances of egoic drive would be like Genghis Khan, Stalin, Hitler, right? Total domination, total control. always wanting more, to be bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, not to be confused, not to be a driver or to be a cleaner, and to push hard to be the best and be relentless and unstoppable at what you do. The energy behind their wanting, however, creates an opposing energy of equal intensity that in the end leads to their downfall. In the meantime, they make themselves and many others unhappy, or in the larger than life examples, create hell on earth. Most egos have conflicting wants. They want different things at different times, or may not even know what they want, except that they don't want what is the present moment. So it's always a wanting to be better rather than finding some gratitude in what you've already achieved and what you've already obtained in who you have around you. Wanting is structural, so no amount of content can provide lasting fulfillment as long as that mental structure remains in place. Intense wanting that has no specific object can often be found in the still developing ego of teenagers, some of whom are in a permanent state of negativity and dissatisfaction. All basic comforts could be easily met for all humans on the planet, were it not for the imbalance of resources created by the insane and rapacious need for more, the greed of the ego. The thought forms of me and mine and more than and of I want, I need, I must have, and of not enough pertain to content, but to the pertain not to content, but to the structure of the ego. The content is interchangeable. As long as you don't recognize those thought forms within yourself, as long as they remain unconscious, you will believe in what you say. You will be condemned to acting out of the unconscious thoughts, condemned to seeking and not finding. Because when those thought forms operate, no possession, place, person, or condition will ever satisfy you. So, a lot of divorces in the U.S.? I think so. I think one of the primary reasons for that is because people don't get to know who they are. And, excuse me, more so on top of that, they don't know what they want. And then more so on top of that, there's no communication. There's no deeper levels of communication. A lot of the relationships are based around physical pleasure, physical interaction. When a relationship is based on a physical experience, like that book just said, your ego wants for more, But what I find and what I see, and I'll have to be the live testimony of it, is it's not only a physical experience when you're with a significant other or another person, because it's not just a physical experience with yourself, right? Like, think about it that way. Like, do you have to have physical pleasure every single day in order to get through your day? Or is it, do you have to have some peace of mind, right? Do you have to have some mental stability, some balance? So then you have to answer yourself the question, am I always negative? Am I always in a bad mood? Am I always responding badly? Whatever it may be. And then you have to ask yourself the next question is, how do I, first off, you make the declaration that you're going to be a positive person. But then how does that happen? You have to have a mental switch. You have to have a spiritual switch that turns on. And once you turn both of those on, the thought turns into a mindset. And the mindset turns into who you are, which is your spirit. So I think it's a matter of understanding really that there will always be someone else out there potentially that is better for you, right? You're not settling. You just know what you want. And there's always going to be an opportunity out there that's better for you. But at the end of the day, you know what you want, and you can make the most of your situation and what you have. And it just starts with a thought. You can change what you want. But if you make a commitment to something, and you say, okay, this is going to be my commitment 40 years, 50 years, 60 years until I die, then that is what it is. That's the commitment that you make. That's the life that you choose for yourself. Nothing wrong with it. So I think at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway is understanding that ego exists in all of us, and that when we continue to identify with I want, this is me, this is mine, and you use those type of language, this is not enough. When you use that type of language, you're identifying with your egoic physical self. And rather than being in humility, being in gratitude for what you've earned and what you've been able to, what you've been blessed with, and then goaling yourself. There's nothing wrong. Again, there's nothing wrong with goaling and having a wanting of, right? But it's just a matter of not letting that get out of control and not letting that consume you, and then not letting that become who you are or why you're here on this earth. So I think that's a very good point, Eckhart. Thank you so much. With that, we're going to move to closing. Good morning. Good morning to everybody who joined. Thank you for joining. Everybody at home sending love and support through the camera. Thank you. I appreciate you deeply. And everybody who jumped on the messenger board, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for showing up and letting me know that you're here. Before we check out today, we're going to go ahead with our Journey to Greatness statement. And feel free to repeat after me out loud wherever you are. Here we go. This is my life. I am aware. I take responsibility for my reality and thoughts. I recognize I have the power to manifest the best possible life. A life of wealth, love, and peace. I truly believe I have zero limitations. I trust my instincts, God, and universe. I am ready to transcend. I have arrived. And so it is. Thank you guys. I love you. Have the best day of your life today. I'll see you tomorrow, 5 a.m.